There were some exciting changes to the 2013 AMSOIL Arenacross season, a whole new format with a race to the championship, as well as the introduction of head-to-head bracket racing. The championship came down to the final main event of the year, as it was Tyler Bowers taking his third Arenacross championship in Denver. What will happen this year? Stay tuned. It's wintertime, absolutely freezing outside, so let's bring things inside the DCU Center in Worcester, Mass. for stop number 1 of AMSOIL Arenacross, featuring Ricky Carmichael's Road to Supercross on Fox Sports 1. Hi everyone, welcome. I'm Robbie Floyd, joined by the champ Grant Langston. We'll speak with Christy Lee down on the floor in just a moment. AMSOIL Arenacross, you think there's some talent here? Absolutely there is. Look at 2013 Arenacross champion Tyler Bowers going to Monster Energy Supercross, the final round last year in Vegas, and takes the victory in 250 East. It shows you just how good these guys are.
Well, it wasn't a surprise to me to see that happen, Robbie, but I think since the introduction of Ricky Carmichael's Road to Supercross, we've seen more and more young talent coming and showing what they can do on the same tracks as these champions like Tyler Bowers and the AMSOIL Arenacross regulars. We'll see some of these guys moving on to Supercross in the future, but I'm expecting some rookies to be up on the podium showing their stuff this year.
Looking at the format, pretty much the same thing that we saw last year except for the main events. Those two main events are now 15-lap mains instead of 12, but we still have heat races, last chance qualifiers in those two mains, also that head-to-head bracket race with the top 4 qualifiers from each individual heat. They race that head-to-head bracket race, get a point there, and whoever wins that gets an extra point. Looking at the championship point standings, almost a perfect night for night number 1 of Tyler Bowers. 2 main event wins, his teammate in second. Jacob Hayes, the newcomer, number 90 in third. Mike McDade and Gavin Graysick in fifth. But Tyler Bowers picking up where he left off last year.
I feel great to be back this year. It's just really excited for the season to start. I've had a good off season. I raced in Costa Rica this summer as well as Germany, and I did the Supercrosses last year and finished well on that. And coming into the season with a lot of confidence. You know, I have a really good program. I've got a new mechanic, Scott Dong, so my bike is just on point. I got here and got to see the race bike, and I just couldn't wait to get on it and race it. You know, we're going to have a lot of young top amateurs racing Arenacross, and I was very excited to see, you know, how these riders are going to do. I think it's good to have that new young blood in the Arenacross again to kind of liven it up. I've been in the Arenacross racing, this is my 5th season now, and I've learned a lot. You know, I've made the rookie mistakes young. It's definitely helped me out in my whole racing career in general. My goal is always to win. You know, I don't go anywhere to try to make a podium or just try to qualify. So I'm here to win. So this year my goal is just to stay healthy and then take it one race at a time, and I believe it's that I should come out on top. I've definitely upped the ante here a little bit. I've got a lot more support this year now after my Supercross win in Vegas last year. It was a confidence boost, one, going out to win the Supercross for them, knowing I worked so hard to do that. Basically, I came from nothing to win that championship. When I got the call from Mitch, I was training 5 weeks straight, and we made a win. I think tonight's just get a good start and work from there. It's never easier, you know. It's the competition's always going to rise to the occasion. The best riders are always going to be up front, and they're always going to win. So I just think this season's going to be a great season. I think one of the better ones I've had.
Now let's take a look at this Worcester track with a GoPro track preview. Daniel Blair on board with that GoPro Hero 3 Plus. Look at the track now, because it's not going to stay this way for long.
Down the start straight, this dirt really sticky and wet due to the winter, coming around the left-hander into this whoop section. Guys hopping through there, not able to blitz them. This rhythm section going to become extremely tough later in the evening, even just to double. Right-hander back down the start straight into this tight left-hander where we're going to see some serious block passing later in the evening over the catapult, and that's a lap here in Worcester.
Looks like another tight Arenacross track. Before we move on, let's go down to our partner, Christy Lee, who's down on the floor.
With another new season of AMSOIL Arenacross, we see a lot of familiar faces here racing tonight. Of course, we see the number 3 of Zach Ames, the number 4 of Mike McDade, and the defending champion, number 1 Tyler Bowers. But there's some new faces here at AMSOIL Arenacross tonight as well, like the number 90 of Jacob Hayes, as well as the young rider number 641 Keith Tucker. Now, not only is this Keith's first time racing with AMSOIL Arenacross, he's also taking on Ricky Carmichael's Road to Supercross, looking to gain those valuable points in in 3 different cities within this series. He's a top contender today earlier in practice. I'd say keep an eye on him during tonight's races.
Thanks a lot, Christy. Grant, let's take a look at main event number 2 from night number 1. Mike McDade with a whole shot. It started out well, but it didn't end so well.
He drops the bike right in front of the pack, getting mauled over there by several riders. Tyler Bowers having a look back as he gets held up. Jacob Hayes out in front, getting chased by Robbie Marshall, but he is soon passed by Gavin Graysick.
Good to see Gavin back into the series at 33, but we had some bar banging in night number 1. Tyler Bowers moves his way in, gets by Graysick, and he sets his eye on Jacob Hayes. Hello, young man. Welcome to Arenacross. And there he is. The number 1 takes main event number 1 and 2 from night number 1. They're about to get started. Are you ready for heat race number 1? AMSOIL Arenacross from Worcester. Welcome back to Worcester. Look who's in the house. The 1993 AMSOIL Arenacross champion, Robbie Rayner, now a trainer of the Stars, or maybe future Stars of Arenacross, talking to Denny Bartz with the Babbitt's Monster Energy Kawasaki team. You see at the top of the screen the riders in this heat race number 1, a pretty stacked heat. You see Kelly Smith, Tyler Bowers, Mike McDade. You want to make it to that main event directly from the heat. You do not want to be in that last chance qualifier.
Absolutely. Gate position is key, especially you want to be on the front row. And not to mention the top 4 already get a bonus point because they get to go to the head-to-head bracket racing. Coming into turn 1, Kelly Smith on that KTM, grabbing the whole shot. Mike McDade coming up the inside, hopping through these whoops already.
Boy, McDade came to a complete stop. He didn't want to do what we saw in main 2 last night. Make sure he made it through that left-hander.
Staying low on the berm, not going up high. Coming around, getting the green flag. That means we're all good to go racing. Everything out front looking smooth for these guys. A couple guys at the tail end, not able to jump the catapult, losing a lot of time. But out front, Kelly Smith holding onto a very slight lead. And cases that triple and losing his rhythm.
You see McDade on that outside, puts him in position to make the pass, and he does so. Outside, now he's inside and takes over the number 1 spot.
Little mistake from Kelly Smith, trying to triple in there, but this dirt's so sticky, the minute he came up short, he got stuck, held up. McDade having the momentum and getting around him.
Looking on board with Mike McDade on a new team this year, the motorsport.com MJM Express Spine Chillers Racing. Yes, the Spine Chillers team, most of them on KTMs last year, now on Kawasaki.
Coming through the sweep, you're already seeing the ruts develop, but underneath you can tell it's a little bit shiny, which means it's also a little bit slippery. It's not completely all traction. Guys starting to deal with these ruts. The main event's going to be pretty gnarly.
Slippery in places, spongy. I mean, that's the word. You can feel the ground smush between your feet as Mike McDade's seat bounces that, trying to look for that extra little bit of oomph. You see the number 1, the defending champ, Tyler Bowers, trying to work his way through the field. Again, how you finish in the heat race, a little bump and run. How you finish in the heat race, that sets you up for gate position for the main event.
Yeah, and as we were saying, with the new format with the points for that head-to-head bracket, top 4 from each heat race go through. That's almost like getting a bonus point because you're in that already. So more important than qualifying is also the points. Flagger throwing out the yellow flag, someone hitting some bales out there, but Tyler Bowers, we know that this is Tyler Bowers' time. He loves these kind of conditions. The rougher and tougher it is, the better this guy does. Big clutch adjustment. Yeah, as we're saying, so sticky, these guys so heavy on the clutch everywhere that they're having to use their hand to roll it and adjust. As we have a little look out front, McDade looking smooth. When this kid's on, he's on.
He's getting into lap traffic pretty early. It's a heat race and you're in lappers this early. It just shows you the discrepancy between the field. These guys had to qualify to make it to the night program. We'll talk a little bit more about the Ricky Carmichael Road to Supercross a little bit later. But McDade really looks good right now, but this is as good as the track will get.
Absolutely. You can see the guys starting to experiment, floating with the edge of the track, trying to find the lines where most of the guys aren't going, staying out of that deep stuff. I mean, getting a bit of a log jam here, coming over the catapult. You see, staying to the left, staying out of those ruts. Because what happens when they get deep? You start dragging foot pegs.
Tyler Bowers, look, he's trying to jump as far as he can into those whoops. He didn't want to try and single or double. He tried tripling in to gain a little bit more time to hopefully catch up to Mike McDade.
Zach Ames, very similar, yeah. You know, they have a very similar riding style. I think a lot of that's got because they ride together. Oh, and right before the finish line, Bowers coming there, white flag out. You see the spotlight. That notifies who the race leader is. Michael McDade hoping to hold on to this. He knows Bowers is there, protecting the insides. which is a smart way to do it. Look, back to the inside again. Oh,
You're going the wrong way. That's
Didn't wanna cut
Arenacross,
the
ladies and
track.
gentlemen. It's tight. You saw the bump and run. Hey, I just got to get to the top of the hill. But Mike McDade does so first in heat race number 1. There goes Bowers, his teammate Zach Ames. You see the little yellow markers? Those are the guys that qualified directly to the finals. Brandon Glenn, Kyle Regal Williams, so they'll have to ride the LCQ. Let's go down to Christy Lee.
Number 4 of Mike McDade taking that Heat 1 win. When I talked to you earlier today, you said you were taking it easy. It definitely didn't seem like that case this early in the season. Now let's talk about that heat. You took an early lead over Kelly Smith and then had a little bumping with bars on Tyler Bowers. Talk about that race.
Yeah, it's starting off like that this year. I got a good start. If I get a good start, I'm going for it. Other than that, I just want to get in and get comfortable for when they drop the points. Happy with the Motorsport MJM Kawasaki. Spine chillers stepped up and everything's going great.
Heat race number 1 in the books. We still have more for AMSOIL Arenacross Worcester style when we return. A lot of cool stuff at AMSOIL Arenacross. You show up, you want to wear it proud when you get back home. And a lot of cool stuff to be had at AMSOIL Arenacross. Let's get ready for heat race number 2. We see Hayes, Nichols, Marshall, Tucker. Who are these names? Yeah, Robbie Marshall we know, Steinke we know, but we're seeing some new names infused with that Ricky Carmichael Road to Supercross. These are guys trying to make it into Supercross, and they have to develop their skills through AMSOIL Arenacross.
Which is the whole reason for that program, the Ricky Carmichael Road to Supercross, is for guys like this. Gate down, Heat 2, who's going to grab the whole shot.
From the outside, it looks like Nathan Skaggs, rider number 8, charging hard. That motorsport.com team showing like they're pretty strong in the get-go.
Well, another thing is he's made the switch from the orange machine, the KTM last year, to the Kawasaki, and rocking the number 8. I have to admit, I love the number, seeing it out there on that
That's
green
your
bike.
number.
8 is always great.
Yeah, that's what you say. Robbie Marshall trying to charge hard, but you know, this track, they know what they're getting into. Robbie Marshall comes to a Northeast race. He's always a favorite because of the conditions. You think even this type of track with it being foggy suits him?
Well, absolutely. You know, these guys get used to riding in those, you know, really awful conditions. And not saying that the conditions are awful out there, but look at that. Just rail the right, a little more speed. You can tell he's more comfortable. Skaggs look a little uneasy. You can tell he's tagging some of the jumps, not really carrying a lot of flow. You see bobbled again, guys either side of him.
Look at the Greensboro, North Carolina kid, Jacob Hayes, number 90, working his way in there. Also Tucker. 2 of the new names. We're almost halfway through with this heat race number 2. Robbie, unfortunately, last year was injured, wasn't able to finish the series. He was in the top 10, was going to make that final race for the championship if he kept things going. So good to see him back in the start of 2014.
Absolutely back healthy, looking good, out front, leading this one with some support from KTM there. But behind, we see a bit of a dogfight. Hayes now getting up into that number 2 position. Skaggs hanging in there. Not quite looking as comfortable as we've seen him, but these track conditions do make great riders look average at times. You can tell they're just struggling to get through these rhythms. And we're only in the heat racing, Bobby.
Brewer Cycles, Fox Kid, again, one of the Road to Supercross participants. Now, to move into Supercross, to be able to race that 250 class, guys like Hayes will have to race 3 different venues. And he has to qualify to get into the night show 3 different times.
Here we go, battle for the lead. Oh, Marshall got held up by the left, and
hello.
Hayes puts it through.
That didn't look like a rookie.
Well, you know, Hayes jumped on the opportunity there. A lap rider kind of got in Marshall's way. He tried to change his line, ended up tagging that double. See, Hayes is very inside line there, staying out of the rut, being very smart about this, going where the other guys out. That's the key with these rutted tracks.
Will he take the inside here to guard that inside? Robbie was definitely going for it.
Oh,
Yahoo
yeah.
effect.
There's the clutch. I was saying, we were talking about some of it's, you know, very slippery, but some of it's got some traction. Robbie, unfortunately, not able to jump the catapult, allowing Skaggs to get right in the mix again. Remember, top 4 also go to the bracket race, which is so important because you automatically get a bonus point, theoretically.
Right now it's about momentum, and that suspension is taking a beating. I mean, You don't want to set it up too hard. You don't want to set it up too soft. But when the conditions are like this, I mean, it's a guessing game, isn't it?
You know, it sucks as a rider because you want it nice and soft through there so it's nice and plush, but you want it stiff so you don't drag foot pegs through these deep ruts.
Taking a middle road approach. You talked about it. Normally, this would be a triple. You know, somewhere in this rhythm section, taking middle of the road again there. But now, at times, they're just hoping to double.
Absolutely. Well, when you have 5 jumps, you want to try and do it either triple, double, double, triple. But today, these guys are battling as we see the white flag come out, spotlights out on Jacob Hayes. He's ridden pretty flawless in this heat race so far.
Right ahead of Keith Tucker on the Yamaha, the Triangle Cycle machine. But Hayes shows that, yeah, I can compete with the Arenacross regulars, makes the left-hand turn, goes high. He doesn't have to double, but he still does it. Nice seat bounce one-hander to finish things off. A good start of the night for Jacob Hayes out of Greensboro, North Carolina. So you see the track starting to deteriorate. We'll see even more of that as the night progresses. Hayes, Marshall, Tucker. Again, the yellow signifies that they move on to the main event. Everybody else has to ride that last chance qualifier where only 2 move on to the main. Let's go down to Christy.
Number 90, Jacob Hayes, one of the riders I mentioned earlier, a new face here with AMSOIL Arenacross. What a great heat race. Number 2 there, your first time racing with Arenacross this season. Talk to us about that race.
Yeah, that was a great race for me. I got off to about a third place start, and the track's really rough tonight. You know, the ruts are brutal, and just trying to pick my way through there, and got around the hometown kid Robert Marshall, and just try to ride smart. You know, track conditions are tough, so got to come away with the win.
Nice victory for him. We also have that head-to-head. You know there's going to be some bar banging in that when we return. Welcome back to AMSOIL Arenacross. You've seen the heat races, but not the head-to-head. And this crowd is going to be fired up if it's anything like it was last night, where Hayes took the victory. Now we see Nathan Skaggs going up against Tyler Bowers. You see the format. They meet down this head-to-head matchup. Somebody's going to take home a valuable AMSOIL Arenacross Championship point. All right, so you see already, Bowers, little gamesmanship, takes that far outside lane. It usually means I'm going to chop you off coming into this first turn.
Well, the nice thing is with 2 guys, there's not as much risk, and it gives them a better angle around that berm. Grabs the lead, tripling in, like we're saying, not really skimming whoops tonight, timing whoops. Oh,
hello, Mr.
back
Triple.
in. Yeah, somebody wants that bonus point. Bowers just looking flawless right now. Remember, these are just under 2 laps because with the start straight, you know, you missed the finish line jump, even though you go over it twice. So here comes Bowers. I mean, wow, just tripling in.
It's practice time for him. This is the last time he hits the track until the main event.
Yeah, he looks like he's doing a photo shoot, a video shoot.
Well, it's amazing the difference in the track because they do rework it when they can in between the races. A great job by the track crew, even getting it to look as good as it does tonight. But it's definitely tagging out there. Bowers moves on to that head-to-head final. Now we have Hayes and Ames going at it. 2 Kawasaki riders, only 1 moves on to face Bowers.
Gate drops. Hayes moving out, trying to do the Tyler Bowers. Same thing, gets a better angle into that first turn. Same there, these guys tripling in. Obviously, that little track prep helping out a lot here. Guys looking a little faster. Oh, Zach tripling in. Can he get up the inside?
Yes, he can, and takes over the lead. Loving it.
Playing it smart there. You see, it was a little game of cat and mouse. He made sure he couldn't cut underneath him. Hayes right on the edge of the track. Last night's winner coming in. Too much ground to gain, I think, here, Robbie.
Now you see Ames again tripling. He moves to the outside. Both riders tripling. I don't think Hayes is going to have an opportunity. Not going to get by this time. Inside, over the line, and 2 teammates are going at it head-to-head.
Haven't we seen this before?
Yes, we have. So there's your matchup. 2 teammates, the 1 and 3. That's how they finished in points last year. Now each of these guys already got a point for the head-to-head, making it into this. Who's going to get that extra point? Bowers likes that outside.
Let's see what happens. These guys ride and train together. They were roommates at one point. Oh, killer start from Bowers, which was his weakness in years gone by. And he just looks really good at the moment. Great aggression, intensity.
Well, he lost to Hayes last night. He doesn't want to lose that point this time.
Exactly. It's like he's got a little chip on his shoulder. Spotlights on him. Here they come around. They'll get the white flag, meaning 1 more lap to go. This really is a sprint, but fortunately comes with some bonus points.
Sure is nice when you can triple into that whoop section. Seat bounce, triple out. You can afford to take that outside line when you know you make that triple.
Absolutely. You carry your momentum. He knows he's got this one in the bag. Tyler Bowers gets his first head-to-head bracket win of the season.
Props goes out to Tyler Bowers. You see the track breaking down through the night. Each race, we're going to try and get an update from one of the riders. Today, it's Kelly Smith.
Hey race fans, Kelly Smith here, the number 5 Team Faith KTM, here to talk to you from Worcester, Massachusetts. Round 1, first stop of the AMSOIL Arenacross Series. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the dirt. It seems to be the real talk of the pits. The dirt here is just like this clay base that's really, really soft. It's been giving a lot of riders a lot of fits. Last year it was really soft too, but it was a sand base. They found some different dirt that's really got a lot of clay to it, so really sticky as it builds those ruts. So we're having a difficult time managing the rhythm sections, the finish line jump, everything's getting rutted bad. So it's days like these, I'm just thankful for all the talent God's given me out there.
Thanks a lot, Kelly, for the 411. As we look on to the LCQ, only 2 riders move on to the main events. I say main events because if you make it there, you get to ride twice. 8-lap LCQ here.
Well, that's what hurts if you don't make it. You don't get a ride either. You're out.
Right.
And one guy sweating, it's got to be Gavin Graysick, who's looked good so far. Finds himself in LCQ. You got to get a good start right here.
Another name, Kyle Regal. Who would have thought, you know, a Supercross guy who's been very competitive would be in the Arenacross and not even make it directly out of the heat. It just shows you how tough these riders are.
Daniel Blair holding on to this lead early with Gavin Graysick all over him. Oh, little bobble there from Blair. Graysick up the inside. Grabs that lead. Remember, 2 guys going through, so these guys are going to be super aggressive.
Willie Browning on the KTM number 6 trying to move into the picture as well. Now Browning on the inside getting a little front wheel high with Graysick. Those guys are going to come to a complete stop. Whoever's on the outside, Kyle White, maybe gets a little bit more momentum.
Gavin Graysick, very smart there, closing the door, not giving Willie Browning any opportunity to get up the inside. They come over the finish line, still able to jump the catapult.
Only 2 move on. Right now it's single file through the lines. You see White trying to take a little bit different line, and you see Kyle Regal's now starting to move into the picture, the 471.
Kyle Regal, a man with quite a lot of Supercross experience, coming to the Arenacross, probably getting used to the intensity and how tight it is and how you got to slam
That's
to
a bump
get
and
through.
run.
Bump and run. Now he's still 1 spot out of qualifying, but at least if one of these guys makes a mistake, he's right there.
More heat charges. We're only halfway through lap 4 of 8 of this last chance qualifier. Means just that. It's your last chance to qualify for the main event. Kyle Regal on the outside looking in on that white bike, the Tough Racing Honda. A name synonymous with Arenacross Tough Racing. Dave Anilak, good to have them back in the series. Yellow flag out, beware. Nice wheeling through Graysick through there, and going down is Regal in the background.
You know what it looked like there? Just probably really pushing, trying to catch one of these guys to make it in the main. Looked like the rear stepped out of the rut. A little too much throttle. Back end came around, went down. But up front, we got the 2 KTM men with a bit of a gap. So these guys are probably at the moment pretty solid, but Regal's still not up. I wonder if he tweaked his knee the way he went down. Kind of an awkward angle.
Soft dirt here. Gavin Graysick, the 33, teammate of Kelly Smith, who you saw a little bit earlier on the Fly Racing Team Faith machine. When you're in position like these 2 guys are, you really don't want to push if you have a lead. You're only going to gain 1 position. You know, if you're in the number 6, don't pass the 30 or don't pass the rider in front of you.
Force it. Yeah. If he makes a mistake, take it, because I don't think either rider would retaliate or do anything silly that could take either one of them out. You know, Willie Browning sitting there, there's no one behind him. In other words, nothing to be gained, everything to be lost. So I'm pretty sure we'll see these guys keep it cool, calm, and collected. White flags out, spotlights on our leader. These 2 guys look like they're going to the main event.
Yeah, you did see a little bit of line change, Willie Browning. He knows he has that advantage. Now let me maybe try and find something for later on during the main events. It's almost a test session, if you will. Taking the inside line, only 2 move on, and it's those 2 that get to move on. Graysick, Browning, Nick, sorry, bud. You're going to have to wait till the next stop of AMSOIL Arenacross. Main event number 1 when we return. Welcome back to AMSOIL Arenacross. It's not just about racing, it's about meeting the racers. Get to shake hands with your heroes, get their autographs.
What I really love about the sport is the fans get to get close. I mean, look how many people turn out to see the track, see their favorite riders.
And their heroes like you, Grant Langston, the motocross, supercross champion, and supermoto, I might add. I'm Robbie Floyd, Chrissy Lee, getting all the scoop down there on the floor as we prepare for main event number 1. Two main events tonight, as always, at AMSOIL Arenacross. A little bit longer than last year. These are 15-lap mains instead of 12.
Not a huge difference, 3 more laps, but with this track deteriorating, it's going to be very crucial those last few laps. Tyler Bowers with that red plate, because he is a championship leader. Gate down, main event, here we go.
On board with Mike McDade, that little hump takes him to the whole shot. Number 4 out in front, there's Bowers. Uh-oh, you didn't want to see him get a good start.
Yeah, absolutely, so for McDade, great way to start this main event.
He was going to quad.
Hey, triple double in, looking good. When McDade gets out front, you've seen this guy. He gets on a roll, he's smooth, stays low over the jumps. Great hole shot, came in that first turn aggressively, stole the line away from whoever was on the outside of him. And now he's got to fend off the defending champion.
Trying to make his way through that rhythm section while you can. Make hay while the sun shines. I know it's an old adage, but when you're out in front, you have clean track, smooth track. You try and just launch as hard as you can while you can.
Well, once again, we can see that the track workers have worked on this track because it's nicely groomed right now, but it deteriorates so rapidly that we're going to see this track look completely different in about a dozen laps.
Look at Hayes starting to stick a wheel inside Tyler Bowers. The young kid is not backing down as this 15-lap main is underway. A little separation between first and second. Wheel taps there, but look at Hayes. He looks to be the aggressor.
Well, what kind of surprising is it looks like McDade out front has gained a few bike lengths from Bowers, maybe made a bobble, whatever, as we see a rider down.
Gavin Graysick, is that?
No, that was a Kawasaki rider, not sure who that is. Unfortunately, not the way he wanted to start the main. But now all of a sudden, Bowers getting his flow. I just said he lost a bit of time to McDade and was getting pressure from the youngster, Jacob Hayes, right behind him. I think that woke Bowers up because all of a sudden he found another gear.
You use that, I mean, you use your experience in that key. Hey, get the start, take a few breaths, then try and charge hard.
Well, Tyler Bowers knows he's got the physical conditioning as well as the speed.
Oh.
And as we say, that comes under McDade. Little rub of the elbow there, but McDade on the inside. And, oh, he takes Bowers wide. Regains that lead.
Yeah, this is Arenacross, baby. And there, to the inside.
Oh, Jacob Hayes. Welcome to Arenacross, says Tyler Bowers. I don't care who you are. I'm here to stay.
He saw it all go down just in front of him. He saw Bowers go after McDade. It played out in front of his eyes.
Wow. I know Bowers has got to be fuming right now, just getting punted off the track. But it's great news for Michael McDade. He's out front going, where'd the defending champ go?
Yeah, we're second place, we're third place. We'll try and run away with this at the halfway point. Mike McDade, just 1 lap ago, he was having Tyler Bowers stuff him in that turn. 2 turns later, the favor was returned on Tyler Bowers, and you see right there, there's Hayes. I think Bowers and Hayes got into it once they picked their bikes up on the next lap.
Absolutely crazy racing we got here, and as we say that, we now have Zach Ames take the lead. We're just talking about McDade having this race under control. Ames, the bridesmaid for so many years, now saying, this is my year.
Where did Ames come from? I mean, he wasn't in that first, second, or third picture. How hard did he charge in that 2-lap gap?
And what a hero to zero main event there for Jacob Hayes. Still cannot get that bike remounted and started, stuck in the turn before the finish line. But back up front, Zach Ames holding on. Number 3, followed by number 4. These guys looking to go and take the number 1 plate away from the guy that is now right in front of them, about to be a lap down, and we have a rider down. Gavin Graysick looks to be shooken up, Robbie.
Yeah, just off the track, hopefully everything's all right with him. Lap traffic at Arenacross, you have to deal with it, and right in front. Oh, and getting tagged a little bit right there. What is going on? It's tight, things happen. Lappers, leaders, everybody's going down.
Well, what's shocking is Tyler Bowers was actually a lapper, trying to pass guys about to get lapped right in front of the leaders, and just, you know, that's Arenacross. Tight racing, there's not a lot of room out there.
Jared Steinke got caught up in that, but you have Zach Ames, Mike McDade, Marshall's up there inside the top 5, the local kid. Good job by him. Zach Ames trying to win his first main event of the season. You know, he's won a few times before, but only 1 per season. This would be a great start for him if he can get a win right off the bat in the first round.
Absolutely. You know, he's looked good so far. He wants to win this year. Robbie Marshall coming through this section.
These are his people. They're cheering him on.
I was going to say, he's pretty much a local kid. You know, he's right from outside Worcester. He's a Connecticut boy, loves the area. He's grown up here. Great outdoor guy, loves sand as well. But with these kind of conditions, simulates a little bit of those kind of rough outdoor tracks a little bit.
Number 3 showing how to get it done on these final laps. Zach Ames riding strong, going for that first victory. His team cheering him on. White flag out, one more lap to go. Nice jump. Oh, hooking a little bit there.
That's what we're saying. These last extra 3 laps on a track like this is a big key factor. Yellow flags everywhere. Track is deteriorating. Guys are falling. For Ames right now, the biggest competitor he has is the track. But one more turn, I think he's got it.
Well, the Babbitt's Monster Energy Kawasaki takes the victory. It's Zach Ames with the 3rd main event for that team this year. Tyler Bowers took the first 2. Zach keeping it in the team, taking main event number 1 here on night number 2. Mike McDade on the motorsport.com Kawasaki in second. Great ride by Robbie Marshall out of Stowe, Massachusetts on the Motorsport Nation UTM KTM. What a way to start it off here on Fox Sports 1. Zach Ames, he was in the middle of that mix, and right now he's with Christy Lee.
Round 1, main 1. Let's talk about that race. What a way to open the season here. Number 3, Zach Ames taking the main 1 win. There was riders down everywhere. We talked about the track conditions earlier and how difficult they were for everyone, and that was very obvious to us watching that race.
Yeah, you know, it's I tried to get off to a good start. I did okay off the whole shot and just tried to put my head down. There was a lot of chaos out there. There was a lot of people banging bars, and I tried to just race clean and stay up. And looking forward to the second main.
Let's talk about your number 8 inversion pick. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you know, I'm glad I got number 8. At least they're inverting the front row. So, you know, it's going to get exciting for you guys, and I'm glad to be here.
Well, let's flip that starting gate around. If you wanted to start on the outside, you're going to get to start on the inside next. Welcome back to AMSOIL Arenacross on Fox Sports 1. You see that main event 2 card? Yep, we've already done it once. We're going to do it again. It was so much fun. Zach Ames picks the number 8 suitcase, so that means they invert that front row. He gets last pick. If you wanted to be outside, you don't have that choice anymore.
But if you notice, he's not completely outside. He took one of those kind of not so great gates in the middle. But the important thing is with inverting 8, it still keeps his arch nemesis, Tyler Bowers, on row 2.
When that 30 car turns sideways, just a few more seconds, we'll get underway. Zach Ames trying to go 2 for 2. Will he get a start? It looks like McDade with another hole shot, just like he started the first main event. But can he hold it, unlike the first main event?
Well, I'm kind of curious, maybe with that, he's kind of a small, as we would say, pocket rocket size rider. And I'm wondering with all that traction, if it's like, you know, like a fly on a horse's back where he's just able to hang on that bike and use the power to get out front.
Hey, if you've got it dialed in, you've got it dialed in. Right now, 2 perfect starts for McDade.
And someone that didn't get a perfect start, obviously from the second row, was Tyler Bowers. We saw him unable to jump that finish line double. And that's what happens in the early laps when you're buried. You are not able to do the jumps and you lose valuable time for leaders.
Nathan Skaggs out of Ohio in second. McDade trying to pull away. Browning in third. Looking through the GoPro Hero 3 Plus, those 3 teammates, you almost want to work together, but you can't be too nice in Arenacross or Mike McDade's just going to check out of this one.
Well, as teammates, they know each other very well. They know how they ride. I don't think anyone's going to help anyone, but at this point,
you don't want to hurt.
They're not going to go over the top to ruin their night for either one of them, but McDade looking solid. I mean, in Arenacross, that is a lifetime of a lead this early in the race.
And usually in Arenacross, those are blitz whoops. When they're that high and that wide, you can stay on top of them. Here, with the ruts, you might not want to stay on top because you catch your front wheel the wrong way. It's one-handed double face-auger. And look at that gap over Skaggs.
Skaggs hanging in there. I mean, McDade holding on to almost a straightaway length lead, which is not ginormous by any means, but it's great at this level because all these guys behind are starting to bunch up. And what happens is now, if you're Nathan Skaggs, you start looking over your shoulder, protecting the inside, and that allows the guys behind to open up the track and take multiple lines and essentially carry the momentum and hopefully get around the guy in front of them.
Mike McDade, who's out in front, trying to also look for the overall after he finished second in main event number 1. If he wins this thing, he's going to take the victory. And looking at a couple of KTMs going at it. KTMs, yes. Teammates, not so much.
I was going to say, I don't think we're going to see anyone holding back yet. Kelly Smith, also known to be aggressive, but look at Jacob Hayes. I am really impressed with this youngster. He came in tonight. He's made a statement. He may not have won yet, but I see this
He
guy
will.
winning. And right now,
so.
he is charging his way through this main event, and he's coming up on some guys with some serious experience.
Well, I think last night showed, you know, in that head-to-head matchup against Tyler Bowers that he's not afraid. So you're exactly right as you see the 90 starting to work his way into that KTM picture. A little bit of a log jam. Skaggs up there doing his best to hold on. The 90 trying to work on the outside of Kelly Smith and makes the pass on the outside. So, yes, moving up is Hayes. You got to like this kid.
Like I was mentioning earlier, the tendency as the track deteriorates is to go tighter and tighter, stay inside of that, which is good in certain areas. But when you're behind, sometimes you're better off when the whole track is covered in ruts, go the long way around and carry your momentum. And Hayes went the long way around Kelly Smith. Now he's knocking on the door of the two guys in front of him. Tyler Bowers, the man with the red plate, the championship leader. Will he hold the points lead off this? I don't believe so, but he is definitely trying to get every single championship point that is super valuable.
Yeah, you say he's knocking with other guys, not up front, but every guy he passes is one more point. 16 points for the win, 1 point for last, which is 16th place. So everyone makes a difference. We reset the points with 4 rounds remaining. So if you're in that top 10, you'll start with a clean slate. So don't go crazy. You just gotta put yourself in that top 10. And thinking of crazy, that was a close call with that tough block coming out just in front.
That's one of those things about motor racing. You cannot control everything that happens around you. Things like this happen, and look what it's happened. It's put him under pressure because Browning now there. And exactly, the pressure got cross-rutted. We were talking about the track. Oh, and he stalled the engine.
Now
a panic maneuver. He should have thrown his leg over, downshifted and ridden up there. But in the situation when you're panicking, trying to get going, things like that happen. But no problems for Michael McDade. Like we were saying, you get out front, you ride your lines, everything's clean, it looks easy.
Did you notice through the GoPro, he took the biggest rut going up the face of that jump tree. Why would you do that when you have some lesser ones to each side?
Every rider has their own riding style, and for some guys, they're comfortable with sticking with the same line, whether it's the deepest rut or not, as long as it's not dragging foot pegs. But deep in the field, Tyler Bowers trying to make his way through the pack and get every valuable point. Oh, and Bowers is down.
Just rode the front wheel over that rut.
And went down awkwardly, kind of getting up slowly, and it appears that he actually might have a bit of a limp. I'm wondering if he caught his foot, Robbie. It kind of an awkward crash with the front climbing out of the rut there, facing backwards, bike steaming, lack of energy at this point.
And remember, he got into it with Hayes just a main event ago as the white flag is out for Mike McDade trying to win his first overall of the season. Taking a second place in main event number 1, out in front of main number 2, a very healthy, comfortable lead. And he just says, I'm going to roll these. I'm not making any mistakes. That's where Tyler Bowers went down just a couple of laps before.
Easy, keep the hand on the bars.
There it is. Motorsport.com, Kawasaki of Mike McDade takes his first win of the season here in main event number 2 in Worcester. What a run by McDade. He tried checking out a Willie Browning, Kelly Smith, Hayes worked into 4. Strong ride by him. Another name you don't see on the top of the leaderboard is Tyler Bowers. A terrible night when last night looked so good. Now we look at the overalls. Mike McDade takes that overall victory with 2-1. Moto scores Ames Browning route out the podium. Whoa. What a night. What a way to kick it off here on Fox Sports 1. We saw bar banging. We saw mistakes when guys are out in front, when guys are in the back of the pack. That's what Arenacross is all about. But Willie Browning makes it a bookended Motorsport.com podium. The number 6 is with Christy Lee.
Number 6, Willie Browning taking a 3rd overall tonight here at the first round of AMA Arenacross in 2014. We saw you up on the podium last season with a main win. I know it's got to feel great to start off this year on the right foot.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think last year at this round, I didn't even make one night. I had a terrible weekend, and to kick it off felt awesome tonight. I got quite a bit of practicing in prior to the season starting this year, and I'm starting to feel really, really good out there, nice and loose. We've got a couple younger kids this year that are really going good out there, so it's going to be a really exciting season.
After taking main event number 1, Zach Ames comes back with the 5th in Moto 2. Good start to the season for Zach Ames. He's with Christy.
Number 3, Zach Ames taking 2nd overall tonight here at our first round in Worcester, Massachusetts. How are you feeling this night? You know, it was a great race in number 1. It's a little bit tougher out there in the second race, taking about 4th or 5th position. Tell us about it.
Yeah, you know, the first main was great. Got off to a great start. Just try to stay out of the carnage, you know. Everyone was going down. There's a lot of shenanigans going on, but you know, I made it through that one clean and ended up getting 8 for the inversion, so only the front row got inverted, so that was kind of cool. And tried to get off to a great start, but my gate was it was down to the concrete, so I was kind of a handicap on that one. But I just put my head down, tried to pass as many people as I could, and just ran out of laps and ended up getting 2nd tonight. So no, it was a good weekend.
What a kickoff to the 2014 campaign for Mike McDade. Finishes 4th in night number 1 overall, and he wins the overall in night number 2.
Number 4, Mike McDade taking the overall win tonight here at the first round of AMSOIL Arenacross in the 2014 season. You took a 2nd in the main 1 and taking the big win in main 2. Let's talk about that second race.
Yeah, yesterday I went 2 and I had almost won. I fell off the start, but had the whole shot. And same thing tonight. I went 2. Excited with how the weekend went. I wasn't sure where I was at with not riding, and you know, I went 2, and as I'm warmer, I ride better. So I stayed warm and went out, got the whole shot from a different gate than I've been using all weekend, and man, I think I got every whole shot this weekend. So couldn't be happier with the bike, the motor, the team. It's awesome.
When I talked with you earlier, you said your goal for the season was to take it easy early in the year. Well, you certainly came off strong starting this year on the right foot.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler had some bad luck, and either way, I was still up there. Like I said, if I got the whole shot, I was going for it, and man, I just could not get the whole shot. So it's good. I'm happy with the track was so ruddy. It's not something I'm used to, and man, I'm just happy.
Number 4, Mike McDade, new bike, new team, great expectations in 2014.
Mikey takes the overall victory. Zach Ames is going to have a red background, signifying he is the series points leader as we move to Baltimore. Look at Jacob Hayes, the number 90, that Road to Supercross competitor, in 4th in the championship. How about that aggressive start to AMSOIL Arenacross 2014? We expected it from the old established veterans, the defending champions. We saw some mistakes out there. There was a lot of bar banging for it being the first round. No conservative approach. But what really surprised me, Grant, is the newcomers, the young guns. Who thought they would be that aggressive?
Well, I think, it depends on who you talk to about that. But I think a lot of people anticipated the youngsters coming in and making a statement. Very impressed with some of these guys, showing some of the veterans what they're made of, slamming, not scared. And tonight, the track was pretty much the 12th man. Took some of the front runners, the title contenders out of it. Pretty crazy. I can't wait for the next round.
Well, the Ricky Carmichael Road to Supercross is a bumpy road. It's a long season. You might be out at front of the first round. It's who's in front at the last round that makes the big difference. Well, we've got a long season ahead of us, 12 stops in total. Worcester was just the first one. Next round will be in Baltimore, Maryland, and we'll work our way to Salt Lake City for the final stop of the AMSOIL Arenacross Tour. Well, it's a great one here in Worcester. We'll see you next time at Baltimore. For Grant Langston, Chrissy Lee, I'm Robbie Floyd. You can always follow us at arenacross.com on Facebook or Twitter. We'll see you next time from Baltimore.